Hello everyone. So today we are going to see the remaining tables, that is bill of material BOM, and the next table we are going to see here is Weldment Cut List table. Both the tables are very important here. It is compulsory in many assemblies to give the reference of that two tables, that is bill of material and Weldment Cut List. So to start with, I am going to take the bill of material first. For that I have called this assembly here. So in assembly, first you need to assign the material and properties required so as to reflect them in bill of material. So to start with, I am going to individually open the part and then apply the material required and then go for the properties, filling up the properties each one by one, and then we are going to call bill of material. So first we need to fill up the properties here. So to start with, I am going to select this main body here. Select the main body, say open part. Now here you can see at model tree, material is not been specified. So I'll right click on this option and say plain carbon steel. So now the material is been specified here. I'll go and say file properties now. So to fill up the other properties, here you can see the symbol. Beside the setting symbol, you have file properties option. So you need to select the file properties option, and we are selecting this file properties option in part modeling, not in assembly. So you need to keep in mind this option is there also in assembly, but we are going to select in part modeling. So to start with, select the file properties. So I'll click on this file properties option, and now in custom there are different tabs you can see here, but I am going to select custom, and in custom I am going to add the properties. So you just need to click on the second column here, then click on this drop down menu, and you can see the different properties been given by Solidworks. These are default properties given by Solidworks. So whatever property you want, you can select it, and after selecting the property in second column, we will jump directly to fourth column. Again, we'll do the same thing. We'll open this drop down menu and select the same kind of expression for that property. So I'll select this material here. You can see the applied material has been updated here. Next we are going to go for weight, and as SolidWorks calculate mass only, so here the equivalent expression it is going to show mass. So I'll select on this mass, and you can see the mass is being shown here. Next property I am going to take here is total cost. Now total cost is not known by the system, so I'll manually enter it. I'll say it 1000, or it will show or reflect it in evaluated value. You can see here. Next property we are going to take here is part number. So most of the time in companies, the parts are being shown or saved in numbers only. So I'm going to take a description or part number option. So instead of part number, I'll select description here. And in description, instead of name, I'm going to put the number. Any constant series we can apply here. Say it OK. And now after applying all the four properties and then save the part. Again we will move to assembly here. Now after updating the part, we'll go for the next part and going to continue with the same process. That is open the part, apply the required material. Again go for the file properties option and select the properties which we want. So I'll select total cost again. I'll apply the same properties which were applied for the previous part, but the number or the order we can change here. So I'm taking total cost first here. I'll put up the cost. Then we are going to go for material. Again select the equivalent property, that is material. Next we are going to go for weight. The equivalent property is mass. Next we are going to go for description, and we are going to provide one description. In actual process, in description we are going to provide the name of that part, and the part should be saved by the number, this number that is generated by company according to the parts. But instead we have done the reverse thing. In description we are showing the number, and actually while saving we have saved the name here. Say it OK. Again we'll save this part, say save part, and then next again move to assembly. We'll go for the next part here, say open, and one by one we are going to continue with the same process, that is applying the material and then going for the file properties option. We are selecting the required properties. Again select total cost. I'll put up the cost. Next we are going to go for weight. Equivalent property here is mass, and the last one is description. So I'll provide the description number here, and after putting up the same properties for this part also, I'll say it okay. We are not changing the properties here. For all parts we are going to keep same properties. Say save here and then move to assembly. Next we are going to take the shaft, open the part, but this time we are going to change or edit the list of the properties. So I'll select the material option, say malleable cast iron. So after putting up the material here, the appearance has been changed, and now we are going to go for file properties and put up the properties here. So again we are going to repeat the same process, adding the material, then going for weight. Here I'll select mass. Next I'm going to go for total cost. Next I'm going to go for total cost, sorry, material cost. I'll say 300, and lastly description. But suppose if I want to add some customized properties in this list that are not been present in this list, then you can go for this edit list option, and in this option you can add the property you require. Now suppose I want to add one property, that is hardening process, whether each part is been given hardening process or not, or what kind of hardening process has been applied for that particular part. So I'll add here next property, that is hardening process. So after typing the name of the property, you just need to select on this add option, and that property has been added to this list. Same way you can edit the list. If you want to change the order of the properties, I'll put this hardening process at upper sides. So I'll say it move up. So you can change the order of that particular property here. I want this part number to be taken at lower side, so I'll say it move down. And suppose if I want to delete any property, then I'll select that particular property and say delete. So in this way you can add or edit the list also here. Say it okay. Again say it okay here. Now this property for that particular shaft is also been filled. I'll say it save here, and after saving all the properties, we are going to go for assembly again. So in same way we are going to add these properties for this disc and bolt and nut also. So I'm adding these properties first and again going to resume the video. Now after putting all the properties for the assembly, we are going to go for bill of material. We will shift this assembly to drafting here. So I'll select this file option, say make drawing from assembly. Select the required paper size. I'll select this 4DI template here. Say it okay again. And now we are going to call the isometric view for that particular assembly here. So I'm going to call this view here. After placing the view, you can increase or decrease the size. I said 1:2 as the scale, or you can also customize the scale. So I'll customize it. I'll say it 1:3. And then say it okay. Next we are going to change the appearance for that particular view. I'm going to give the appearance here as shaded with edges. Next we are going to apply balloons here. So these balloons can be applied in both ways. You can apply it manually one by one, or you can say auto balloon, by which all the parts will be designated by balloons according to the numbers we have saved them. So I'll select this balloon option here, and the order of numbering will be followed in a way we have saved or made that parts. So first I'll add this balloon here. We need to change the layer first. Say delete this balloon here, and again we are going to go for balloon. Select the part, and when you keep this arrow point on this face, it will appear as a dot here. If I want to change the style of that arrow, I'll right click on this dot and change it to arrow style as closed arrow. If I want to increase the size of that particular balloon, I'll change the size. I'll say 3 characters. If I want to change the size of the text also, then I will put off this use document font option and go for text. And here you can change the size of the text in the balloon. So I'll take it 20 here. Say it okay. I'll say 2 characters only. Again say it okay. Now after putting first balloon, we'll go for the second one. I'll give this shaft as second. I'll just select the parts and the balloons will appear there. It is better to keep or place the balloons at the faces only. So here all the balloons are been applied. I'll say it okay. And now as you can see, the default sizes are coming in a smaller way, and the arrow type is also not coming as we have changed here. So you can go for this format painter option, and to apply the change for all the balloons, I'll go for this format painter, select the balloons which we have made changes, and then select the required balloons to be changed. You can see the size as well as the arrow type is also changing here. say it OK. And now if you want to place these balloons in a single order or a single chain, then you can go for magnetic line option. Select the magnetic line option here. You just need to click one line here and then select the required balloons. You just need to drag the line. Automatically the line will grasp the balloons. Place it here, say it OK. For these balloons I am going to put one more magnetic line here. Just click and drag. It will grasp all the balloons. Say it OK. And now you can see this part has been designated with all the balloons here for individual parts. Suppose if I call this view again here, I'll update this view option as the views are not been shown. Again call the same view here. We will see the auto balloon option. So here the auto balloon option is very easy. You just need to select the auto balloon option and click on the required view to be balloon and say OK. Now here the balloons are coming automatically, but you just need to change the arrow type and size as well as the placement of the arrows. If you auto balloon the assembly, the arrows will be stuck on these edges. It will not be placed on the spaces here. You can see all the arrows are been stuck on the edges. So it may become difficult to judge for which part is this balloon been appeared here. So it is better to go for manual option only. I'll delete this view. Say yes. And now we are going to call the required table, that is bill of material. Select the bill of material option. Select the required view. It will ask you top level option, parts option or indented option. Suppose if you are having sub assemblies and then the individual parts, it is better you should go for top level only. But if you are having only parts with a single assembly, then we are going to select parts only option. And suppose you are having sub assemblies in number of quantity and then parts, then you can also go for this indented option. In indented option, first the title will be for the first assembly and then the parts for that particular assembly. Then the second sub assembly, then parts of that second sub assembly. Then the third assembly title and parts for that third assembly. So in this way indented will display the table. So if the assembly contains multiple assemblies, it is better to go for top level or indented. But if the assembly is simple without having any sub assemblies and only parts, then it is better to go with parts only option. So I'll select this parts only option here and then say it OK. And you can see here it will by default show this property, that is item number, part number, description and quantity. In quantity it will show the number of parts which are being made similar in one column or row only, showing the total number. But still some properties are been remaining, so I'll add that properties. For that I'll make this size of the table little bit optimized and then go for the other properties. So to call the other properties, when you drag on this table, you can see the blue color strip here and one black arrow has been appearing showing the direction at downward side. You just need to right click on this blue strip here and you can say insert column to right and left for the property. At which position you want, you can go for that. I'll say it on right side. As soon as you click on this direction, this property box will appear here. You just need to drop down this menu, property name, and fill up the properties which we have saved in parts. So I'll go for material first. So now it is showing material of all the parts. I will click on outside and exit the columns there. After placing the property, you just need to click outside and exit and again go for the same process. Say right click on this blue strip, say insert column to right left, again put up the required property. I'll say total cost this time. So it is showing total cost of all the parts. Repeat the same process, say insert column to right left and put up the required property. I'll say wait this time. And now you can see all the properties are being filled up. So if you want to place this table now, you can place this table at any position. I'll place it on this template table here. And now this bill of material is been applied here. You can see I'll change the position of these balloons here. So in this way you can apply bill of material. It is showing all the properties with total number and correct values which are been updated in properties. It is very useful table, compulsory being used, also called as BOM, BOM. Next we are going to see Weldment Cut List table. For that I have called one structure. We'll open that structure here. So I have made one structure. We just need to place this in drafting. So I am going to select this structure here and go for drafting option. First change the display style and then select file option, make drawing from part. I'll select the paper size, say OK. After selecting the paper size, if the required template has been appeared, it's OK. Or else you can change the template also here. I'll say sheet properties, browse for the sheet required or template required. I'll select this 4DI template and you can see this path here. all the templates are being saved in this path. If any company provides you ready-made template, then you need to save it on this path only. You can directly browse that templates, then say it open. Again say apply changes, and now you can see this template has been applied. We'll call that table here. I'll call the isometric view of that table. If you want to change the display style, I'll select the view and change the display style here. I'll also change the scale. I'll say it 1:5, and then we are going to call the table. Select the table option and say Weldment Cut List table. You just need to select on the view and the table will appear here. Say it OK. And you can see this cut list table has been updated here. I'll change the layer. It is showing very faint. So I'll select the table and I'll change this layer as per standards. Again, I'll update this layer. And now you can see for each particular section or part or body, this table has been appeared, showing the size of the tubings, cross-sectional size as well as the total length required. So when this table is to be manufactured, manufacturer will refer this table, and then according to the sizes or length being shown, the structures will be taken. All the length of the structures will be cut according to this table only here. So it is very important to show this Weldment Cut List table, highlighting each and every individual body. So to refer these numbers, we are going to add balloons also again. So I'll say auto balloon option this time and say OK. Now these balloons are being added referring the structures with these numbers. So I'll place these arrows on the faces instead of edges. But as you see, when I place this arrow on the face, it is converted in arrow style as dot here. I'll say it OK. I'll click on this one dot and change the arrow style again, and then use format painter to apply the changes for all the types. So in this way, you can update the balloons. Instead of dot, you can place it on the face and show arrows. Now you can refer these numbers for the table. But you can see here, the last row is not showing the description and length. So to put up or update the values for this description and length, we are going to open this weldment structure and then update there. It is not showing because it is not a standard structure. Now 8 number it is showing here as this end caps. You can see here, these end caps are been applied, and these end caps are not counted as a standard structure. That's why it is not been shown here as a description and length. So to put up or update that values, I'll open this part or structure here. Now you can see this cut list option it is showing here. Cut list means nothing but it is show all the individual or single bodies which are utilized to make this full structure. There are 25 items being utilized to make this structure. I'll drop down this arrow, and in this arrow you can see all the standard structures being shown, and here is the last part which is not shown by the properties. So I'll right click and say edit properties here. Now in properties I need to fill two properties, that is description and length. Here is the length option given. Say it OK. But first we'll calculate the length of the cap. I'll select both the faces by pressing the control key continuously, and here the distance will be shown. So the normal distance it is coming 30. So it is 30 by 30, and the thickness here is given 3 mm. So now I'm having the sizes of all the end caps here. You just need to go on this properties option in cut list, and whichever part which is not being shown by the cut list, you just need to click on that part, say properties, and fill up the description and length. So in description I'm going to add the name as end caps, and here I'm going to add the length size or any cross-sectional size of that particular part. So now this end cap is of 30. I'll say caps lock on and then press X as a multiple sign, caps lock off by 30 by 3. So this is length, width and thickness. Now this length and description values are also been updated. I'll say it OK, and now it is showing all the item names for the cut list. You can expand this and see the total quantities are also being shown with the lengths here. Same this table for the cut list is being shown in drafting. So cut list you can see here also in model tree, as well as you can display it in drafting also. It is very important table. So I'll save this part and move to drafting again, and here you can see this property is also been updated again. So in this way you can add the Weldment Cut List table here. So these were all the tables which we needed to see in drafting. Among all this, these 4 tables are very important, that is general table, whole table, most important is bill of material and Weldment Cut List. Other tables are also used, but rarely only. So we'll stop here and we'll continue we'll stop here today and we'll continue with adding the geometrical tolerance, datum feature, surface finish symbol, weld symbol, datum target, and other things remaining in next lecture. Till then, continue watching the 4 Dimensions Infotech channel. Continue with the playlist. You will get all the list of the lectures which are been conducted for SolidWorks, even for placements in Pune at any location, or else you can directly message us in comments. So please do like, share and subscribe. Till then, thank you.